Shelby and Michelle with Farmhouse Living, and welcome back to our channel. We have another Christmas home tour, and this one's special, not only because we were a part of it, but because you teased it on the last home tour you did with us.
At the Tulip House.
At the Tulip House.
Yeah.
So what's the next project? Because you're gonna have a big list of people wanting to buy another home from you.
Our next big project is downtown, and so it's another old house, but I think this time I'm planning to keep it. Okay. So we're gonna restore it, add that old wallpaper, and because it's gonna be mine, there's gonna be wallpaper.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be wild. Yeah. Clover Lane Properties, my design company, we finished our third historic house downtown Mckinney. And then this was just a blessing from God. We found out around May that we had the opportunity to buy this. So it was the race to get that done to be able to purchase this in September.
And then you purchased it quick. And then you did the Christmas home tour. Like, I mean, talk about
it was pretty crazy. Yes, the director of Chestnut Square, so it was the 49th annual home tour, and it's supporting where they have the farm to market, and it's just the restoration of these homes so we can share with the community. And asked to be on it, and so it was trying to get it restored.
So we came in to kind of view, I've lost my voice here because we've been going. And when you asked us if we would like to do a tree, I said, oh my goodness, 18th century, not our genre. But then you said, would you like to do the carriage house? And we were so excited to be a part of the tour. So we're not only going to show you this incredible Bingham estate, but then we're going to go over and show you what we've done in that little carriage house.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to post the carriage house and then this house. So if you haven't seen the carriage house, I'm going to link it in cards. But watch this one first if you're already here, because it's incredible. So when was this house built? Tell us the history.
Perfect. So the house was built in 1883 by Captain Bingham. He actually owned one of the very first newspapers in town. He worked for the Dallas Morning News, and then it was called something else, and then he bought the Inquirer. But prior to that, he went and fought for the Confederates in the Civil War, and while he was in Georgia, he saw an old plantation. Can't take a picture, so he sketched it on the back of a war map, and then when he came home, this is what he built for his family. And so he married Eliza Virginia Graves Bingham, and Graves is a big street in McKinney, you'll see, and then they raised their 6 children here. So when we got here 2.5 months ago, if y'all remember, it was very white because it was a wedding venue, and then it was a bed and breakfast for about 20 years. And then funny, it was owned by an SMU professor who a ballet teacher, and that tickles me since I did ballet. But it was just very stark white, and it just kind of lost a little integrity because you want a wedding venue to be open so the brides are what's in front. And so we really wanted to add that character. So right away in the front room, which would be the foyer, the stairs are original, but it had a restroom there that needed to be removed to have a seating area. And one of my most favorite features is the painted hardwoods. You usually don't see that, but I'm always inspired by Charleston, South Carolina. And so you would see painted floors because you couldn't afford those fancy rugs. So you're like, how do I make it all fancy? So that has been a lot of fun doing those rooms.
Yes. So people, if you are sitting there like, how dare her paint hardwood floors? She's embracing history. So it's not just like, it's actually doing something that you would see.
Yes, and it's not a flippant choice. It was very meaningful. These are original 139-year-old pine floors, and so we absolutely restored them, and we would have done the correct process of painting them and sealing them. And so people have said the funny comments are just going to be gone in a year, and that's not the case. It's very well taken care of. But when you come in this area, which is the parlor, so you'd be welcomed by, help would answer the door, and then guests would wait in the foyer, and then the lady of the home might be in her fur and she'd welcome you into the seating area. And then in here, this is a lot of fun. So we closed case openings, added millwork, and then this wallpaper's from England. It's Bowood. I've used it before, but I've never used the lighter version, and it's just darling. But it reminds me of cotton from a plantation, and I think history should be remembered and told. And then original fireplace, the mantle is not, but that green tile just pops in the windows, and just the amount of natural light in these rooms are amazing, because in a historic home, just what you would have seen at the Tulip House, everything has a purpose. And then off to the side, this will be this little seating seating area. We believe it would have been from the original porch that would have been closed in. And then the most fun on the tour everybody talked about was the bathroom. I couldn't decide on between two Rifle and Company wallpapers. It was peacocks or houses, and then the only one available to buy was peacocks. So
that's your sign. Yeah. Well, I wanted to mention just how your mirror placement is not traditional in that bathroom, but with your faucet and the marble and the perfect shape. And I want to mention that a powder room is the place to get adventurous like that.
Yes.
And if you wouldn't have said anything, I wouldn't have thought anything of it.
Yeah, you've got that incredible swan faucet.
Yes.
And you've built up this sink, so tell them what happened there.
The Fawn faucet. Let me get that.
Swan faucet.
Yeah, the thing in there, the gold thing. No, it's a funny thing. I had seen it years ago, and it was a historic thing, and I thought it was precious. But then we saw the movie Billy Madison.
Stop looking at me, Swan.
And it said, "Stop looking at me, Swan." And so my husband doesn't say much. He'll let me buy these houses, but then he's like, "Where's the Fawn faucet?" The Swan faucet.
Oh my God. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah.
Swan faucet. Yes, but in normal homes, you have sinks that will be placed down at 24 inches, 32 inches, and I think this one ends at 40, and I love it. I love that it's high, but it is being adventurous in a powder bath. It is the greatest thing when you have a really plain house and you just go boom. It's be out of control, and I love it. I'll put wallpaper on the ceiling. The fifth wall is a favorite. So
I think powder baths and laundry is where you can get wild.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. What is the next room called?
So going off the foyer, you will head to the informal living room.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go. So we got informal in
we got formal in the parlor.
In the parlor, and then you come in here, and this is a more
family area.
Okay. Okay, and you took off your fur.
Yeah, I feel like when I'm in the parlor, I need to be bougie, and then when I come in here, this is where you're sweet. So when we bought the estate, I want to wallpaper everything, but there's a point where I got to stop because, Schumachers, they all started adding up. So this one, again, sleepy blue in here, and this was the one that I decorated. I love some pink and blue. I'm always very inspired by Gretchen Black in, I think, Louisville, Kentucky, and it's just one of those rooms where you just feel sweet and soft.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You've got your little Dolly Parton book next to your little sitting chair. It's incredible. And tell us about how you came to know the story of Mrs. Bingham. That always cracks me up.
Yeah, she's a feisty little woman. So I didn't say this earlier, but the stairs, as you start coming up, you realize they must have been pretty short. And I found out she's about 4 feet 10 inches. So you get to the top of the stairs and you're kind of like, oh, there it is. But Mrs. Bingham, short little thing, when her husband, Captain Bingham, would want a gentleman's drink, he'd be downtown Mckinney, and she would want her husband home. So she would jump on her little horse and buggy, ride down Chestnut and get there, walk into a man's establishment and be like, "It's time to come home, honey." And they would come on home.
So we think it's really appropriate that a feisty woman used to own the property, the original owner, and then a feisty woman bought it.
Yep.
We're going to get stuff done.
A go-getter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So in the tulip house, you left little tulip elements where there was, and I feel like your little ottoman. I know it's not actually.
Yeah.
But I think that's so fun. Do you have any other?
In the little seating area off the Swan bathroom, there's a little clover light.
Okay.
And then these are just truly a favorite. Cody Foster houses, the little putz houses, just very inspired by old design like that. And so with the 1.4 acres, we are developing it, so we will allow guests, and so we'll be doing some fun things that we'll be able to share later.
Yes, guys.
So remember these houses, little T's.
Yeah. And I was going to point out too, when for Christmas, I think, some of the fun elements that I've been seeing in the different homes a lot is using the Christmas balls and candles and trying to pull in those old elements. There were some neat little things that we found. Those, I don't know what they're called, but where you kind of look through like magnifying glass to see old pictures and old original fireplace. The mantle is not. This is from, I think the bed and breakfast owners had it was an old coffee table, and then they took the bottom of it and then they put it there. So
oh wow.
And trying to bring in those elements of old. This is my husband's great grandmother's mirror. So it was at the Tulip House, and so it was very special to get back to the Bingham.
Fun. It's
Sweet.
beautiful.
And y'all, I will say Hobby Lobby has been killing it lately.
I know.
And their stuff. This is probably one of my most favorite, this little camera. And again, my mother brought this for me. I'll take a picture. It's so sweet, but it's a typewriter. And again, it reiterates the little tidbits of the house, Captain Bingham owning the first newspaper in town.
Yeah, and so hence why you have the typewriter in the front of the foyer.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
There you go.
That's awesome. Okay, should we go into the dining and show that amazing wallpaper?
Yes, I live for it.
Yes. So now we are in the dining room, and okay, we know you're into wallpaper, but this,
I live for it.
This is so good, and the chairs and the chandelier, everything. So tell us about your design process in here.
So when I walked into this dining room, and again, I think I told y'all this before when we were at the Tulip House, anytime I walk into a historic home, if I'm going to purchase it, you better show me some ceilings, because that is a very arduous process to be lifting. So it was just stunning already, and it was just screaming for that old dramatic. And I had seen this wallpaper, Schumacher's, an old, just classic, and the hydrangeas are just gorgeous, because you see that a lot in Texas. But what made this room so special, because anytime I do something, I want it to have meaning. This wallpaper was in Gone with the Wind. So when Scarlett O'Hara was walking down the stairs, and my daughter is Scarlett, so that would have been early 1920s, 30s, but it just gives it that special flair. And then trying to source everything, because of course this isn't where we live all the time, and we have people here, but I wanted to give it that really special feel. So this is an old French table that actually comes out. And then, Facebook Marketplace is probably one of the best places to find things. So I have been looking for bamboo chairs and got those for $300, and I was like, this is it. So spray painting, and then to offset it, got this neat Ballard Designs light, and then Black Friday sale, and I just really feel like it complements it and makes it special. One other thing, so in historic houses, when we do things, when y'all saw at the Tulip House, we did move the kitchen because we wanted it to be the center of the home, because I knew someone was going to live there. But with the Bingham estate, we wanted to always maintain the integrity. So a true kitchen would be in the back where the help would prepare. And so you'll see the place setting, it's set for 8 because this is a family of 8, the Binghams. And they had their children's names were so sweet, like Sally Mills and Margaret and Nathaniel. So I love that. This picture is of one of the sons. I'm 2.5 months in, I'm still trying to learn all the history, but I just think it's stunning. And then this piece over here, I had got it in a estate sale. It's from Belgium, late 1800s. But at the top, you'll see Captain Bingham and Mrs. Bingham. And thankfully, the red glasswork and the silver in there are from Mrs. Bingham. And you can see EGB. So it's been wonderful.
And so that came with the house.
So that was one thing when, when purchasing the house, I was like, please give me anything that was representative. And they were just wonderful to share that with us.
Wow. Like you said, the kitchen is right off this area. And I know that you're keeping the integrity, but you have done some really amazing touches in there. It is designed for sure, and I know you're in process. So share a little bit about the kitchen.
Sure. So in a kitchen, a lot of historic houses will have the swinging door, and I'm so thankful it had it in really neat antique hardware. But the kitchen was restored about 20 years ago, and they would have put the cabinets, so bead boards, and just truly a working kitchen. So we went in there, added the sleepy blue, of course, and then we're still in the process of adding all the hardware and things like that, and then we'll do new marble and just kind of add those touches in there. So in a historic dining room, so it really is a neat space. And so you would walk into the kitchen, but you would have this what is that called? Swinging door. Yeah, of course. But one thing I wanted to point out to y'all that you might not see in looking outside the dining room is we have 2 working wells on the property, and the brick that is actually laid there was from a structure that housed the dairy products. So they would have kept their dairy products cold there, and then rainwater would come off the roof, and they would put charcoal on the edge, and that's how they would clean it. So they were just really innovative. But again, at the end of the day, we're trying to keep the integrity of the home. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but it is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath upstairs. Okay. And so like we said, that will be something fun once I kind of attack and, wallpaper galore.
Yeah, once you put wallpaper, we'll show you.
Then people can go.
Speaking of wallpaper, I want to mention that you use the same wallpaper in the back of the cabinets that you did in the Tulip house.
Yes.
And I'm like just looking around finding a place to put that because it's just amazing wallpaper.
And that's what's great. When you have scraps of wallpaper, don't throw them out. Always keep them, because it came from the Tulip house, and I like those little pieces of, hey, that remind me of something, let's tell that story. But Cole & Sons is also really old English wallpaper, and so it's nice to have just kind of that old stuff again.
Yeah. Okay, so tell people where to follow you, and also if you haven't checked out the Carriage House, you've got to go check out the Carriage House, and stay tuned because we are going to do more. We're going to share more. We're going to share your journey with the Bingham Estate.
Yes.
So make sure they follow you.
Yeah, so the Bingham Estate has its own Instagram, just Bingham Estate, and then of course Clover Lane Properties, where everything is.
Yeah.
And hey, and I do want to point out all those gingerbread houses. We had a gingerbread party at one of the board members of Chestnut Square. His wife is just Darlene, and she can do anything, and so she just made the kitchen just exquisite.
And also the front porch.
Yeah.
Tell us about the front porch.
Y'all, people are getting after those nutcrackers, and I bought those last year for $60 at Walmart. They're just plastic and cheap, and then it did not match my decor, so I had to get my sleepy blue paint out and just went to town.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing a lot of fun people do them now.
Yeah, it was a photo op.
Yes.
That front porch.
I definitely have some DIYs next Christmas.
Yeah, I loved it. It's been fun. There's so many fun things, but it's just getting on that journey. And so to be able to get the Carriage House done in 2.5 months was
the whole thing. It's shocking. Like my husband and I were sitting and we were just having dinner, and he was like, I can't believe she pulled that off. And I was like, that was a lot, huh? So you did amazing.
Thank you.
We're proud to know you. We're proud to share it with you guys. So like I said, you've got to check out the Carriage House. We're going to have photos of the full house. If you like slower pace, just viewing photos and taking it all in, you'll want to save inspiration to your phone, and we'll have links if you want to know wallpaper, paint color references and things like that. Everything's there. Mom, I know you don't have a voice, but close us out.
We've been going so much, but you know what? It's a happy go. This has been so much fun. And so just follow along and like and subscribe. Share with your friends. We have so much fun stuff to come.
Yes. Okay. Bye, guys.